Okay. All right. Welcome to the RSU 5 Board of Directors meeting. It is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. We are here in the Freeport High School Library. No Kara this evening, and we're not sure if Moon, our student rep, will be here. He's probably studying feverishly for finals. So if he's not, we wish him luck on his finals. All right. We will get started with Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm not sure if you guys looked at how quick our agenda could be tonight, so just very excited about that. Not that I want to discourage conversation, but all right. Yeah, nope, we skipped that part. No adding. Consideration of minutes. We don't have any adjustments to the agenda.
I do have an adjustment under the reports from the superintendent. I have a letter A, some resignations to announce, and under that same report, letter B, I would like to provide a reserve account update for you, and that's it.
So I let her add a few things, but all right. Good news and recognition. Well, we don't have a student rep tonight, but I will fill in. And I'm not sure it falls under good news, but I guess it does fall under recognition that this is likely the last videotaped meeting that we do of the year because we have a few executive sessions coming up in the hiring process. But I did want to just thank Beth for her 6 long years on the school board and all of her help and all of her work on the committees and finance, and we made her the chair several years ago and she stuck with it, and super proud of her for that, and just all the work that you've done through COVID and just a lot of amazing things, and so thank you for that. Congratulations on your daughter's graduation last week. I'm clearly going to be penless from now on because she provides me with a pen for our board meeting. So thank you for that. 2019, crazy. So thank you. And she will be followed by a new representative who was elected yesterday in Pownell, Chris Saviano, who is actually here with us this evening. So if you stick around till the end, which should be pretty quick, I'd love to just chat for a few minutes and say hello. So welcome to the board. You will start on July 1. Beth will serve through the 30th, like it or not. And so thank you for that. Also wanted to thank Cheyenne because this is her last meeting as well. Cheyenne has let us know that she will be stepping away from the board also on June 30th. And so thank you for your willingness to step up and do this work because it is so important, but it's a lot, and we totally respect that sometimes it doesn't always fit in to the schedule as we'd like. So while only a year, it was a powerful year, and thank you for all of your input during that process. And I'll just say for folks watching from home, I believe the Freeport Council talked about a replacement. So how the process works, if someone steps out sort of mid-term, is the town that they reside in will their select board or town council will appoint someone until the next official municipal election. So in Freeport's case, that would be in November. So I believe the council is beginning their process, and typically what they've done is they've asked for letters of interest from members of the community. In the past, how they've done it is, they'll collect those, they'll do some interviews, they'll make a recommendation. I think they have nomination committee or something like that, and they'll make a recommendation to the council. So hopefully we should have someone on board prior to the retreat in August for that Freeport seat, which would be in place until the November election. So obviously that person would be welcome to run for the seat, and then that seat would finish out Cheyenne's term. So that person elected in November would have a 2-year term. So the election for Freeport in November will be an interesting one. We will have 2 regular 3-year seats, and we will have 2 2-year seats for folks that have been appointed through November. So we look forward to that. Colin's doing the math. But just for folks that might be interested and live in Freeport, I would encourage you to reach out to the town and just find out exactly what they're looking for in terms of how to express your interest. And we look forward to Chris and as well as a new person from Freeport to start next year. Okay, Phoebe and Moon, they're not here. I will thank them both, though, for their time on the board. They will usually do their elections at the beginning of the next school year, so either or both of them may run again. We would certainly welcome both of them back because they were both great members of the committee. And while we can't talk about the superintendent search at all, one candidate mentioned to us that how much they really enjoyed not only that we have a student on our board, but that they participate. And I think that's very cool that we have that. And I thank them both for their commitment and their participation. So hopefully they'll come back. But even if they don't, we enjoyed them very much. So I think that's all I have for good news. It's not nearly as fun as Phoebe and Moon's report, but it is what it is. So thank you, Cheyenne. Thank you, Beth. Welcome, Chris. That's the wrap up. Okay. Public comment. Anyone else have anything they'd like to say? Nope. All right. Report from the superintendent.
Okay, letter A, resignation. These resignations will be for the end of this school year. Paula Chadwick, Freeport Middle School Educational Technician. Alyssa Hurling, DCS Educational Technician. Sierra Zahares, Moore Street School Educational Technician. And Marshall Flowers, FHS Educational Technician. And we thank them for their service to our children and wish them nothing but the best. Letter B, reserve account update. I want to just talk a little bit about our Article 2 reserve account that we have, which is our special education reserve account, and tell you some things that have occurred over the last few months since we've had our budget, and how we'll be spending some of those dollars going forward. We have had some complex special education needs that have presented themselves after the budget process, which we really concluded in March on our part. We've had many new special education referrals. We've had new students register even this school year. And recently we've completed all the CDS transition meetings for our kiddos who are entering kindergarten throughout the district. The purpose of the establishment of that reserve account is for needs such as what I'm going to explain to you. And what I say is we think of a reserve account. I like to think of it as like, oh my gosh, emergency break glass. And these are some emergency break glass. We have a student with an IEP who requires one-on-one nursing services. And we are required to pay for those services for the student with the IEP. You may say, why is it coming out of Article 2, G? That's not what we usually find nursing. That's because it's to meet this student's IEP needs. So we checked with the state, and yes, we can use that reserve Article 2 for that. And that the dollar figure, we're not certain at this time because, as you know, our nurses are tied to the teacher scale, so it depends on how much experience this nurse has coming in. So that's one of the uses that we'll need to have. Also, an out-of-district placement. Generally, we budget through the IDA grant. So if we have kids we know about, so it's budgeted through our allocation there. And sometimes if there's some kids they're either already in an out-of-district placement or we're anticipating there might be some. That's where we normally fund that for. So we have all that money there. But there is just come with the last few weeks, actually, there's a student who's going to need an out-of-district placement because we were unable to meet that child's needs here. And it really depends on where that student is placed. It can be anywhere from $50,000 to $90,000. Depends on where that student will be placed. The last area we'll be spending some money out of that reserve account is for a teacher of the deaf that we need to have for a student with an IEP. There'll be some hourly services required through that. We're estimating it'll be approximately $25,000. And then the last piece is we need to have some time with a contractor for a speech language pathologist. Our SLP team has worked throughout this year looking at caseloads that we already have in the district. And sometimes they've taken from one school, I can take on this caseload this many kids here, so they've done all that work. And just to make it more manageable, and also there are regs at the state we have to follow, even with the reassignment of students off caseloads to another person across the district. And the actual kiddos who have qualified for speech services has not declined. We've added more on top of those kids. So we're going to need to do some contracted services. It will not be a full-time person, but we will need to figure out how many hours we need to take off some of those folks. And that anywhere, it could be from $75,000 to $80,000 for contracted services. So that is, we part of having the reserve account, we need to inform the board our intention for that. So that is where we're looking at this moment. We are keeping an eye for certain. There's another student who may need nursing services as well. We're not certain yet. We think we can provide it through our own nurse at the building, but that would be an additional use of that account if that does come to fruition. But our team is still working on that. We believe we'll be able to cover it. So that's on that. I just want to let you know where we're at on our emergency break glass.
So can you tell us how much was in that reserve account to start?
So what we have right now, for this, the balance, the July 1 balance of this year was $333,564. We added $618,517, which would be the balance. It would be $954,081. So there's enough money in there plus for other uses should we need it. And the tricky ones for sure are often those out-of-district placements, because sometimes you just don't know, and there might be not students that are actually here, but students that come in, or sometimes there are students that we have that we can no longer service. And so you can anticipate if students stay in our district, especially the nursing services, you can anticipate that'll be an add to the local budget next year. We're anticipating the student stays with us, and also the speech language. If the numbers keep rising, we may want to look at adding a pathologist next year. If we do that, you want to put that in your local budget, because it's just not the IDEA grant. It's tapped for. We have some ed tech positions. There is primarily ed tech positions and out-of-district placements and a few supplies.
So we're looking at $200,000 to $300,000 out of this reserve right now that we think will be recurring in future years and need to get added to the local budget.
Yes.
Great, thanks for that.
Sorry about that.
Well, at least, the good news is we have a reserve, and this is what it's for. I believe we put that 618 in there because that's our title grant funds that we thought might be at risk if federal funding were to, stop for whatever reason. So even taking these out, we still have that 318 that 618 in there to cover those title grants. So that's good. But yeah, I mean, it's clearly.
And so it's not that, it's actually the IDEA grant on this case. It's not the title grants. It's for IDEA just for special education, not the title grants you put in Article 1.
Oh, I thought we split it.
No, you put your so anyone covered under Title One, it's
Okay.
the Title One teachers. That's in your Article One reserve, and we
Okay.
put money in that. This is just for special ed.
Okay. Sorry. But it's still there. Whatever we planned for is still there. Okay, great. Okay. Administrator reports, we don't have any. Board comments and committee reports. I know it says none, but I do want to remind folks that next Wednesday we do have a board meeting here at the high school. I told you 5. I'm going to ask you guys, and you'll see the agenda tomorrow. 4:45 would be great, so that we can have time to convene as a group before our interviews. We're going to be here. Yep, we'll be in the library. That one will not be recorded for folks who watch us every Wednesday night. You'll have to find something else to watch. That one will be an executive session, so no video. They can watch reruns. That's a great point. Yeah. Pick your favorites. Go back, watch them again. There's some good ones. Yep. Yeah. So that will be 5:45. Excuse me, 4:45, and we'll start right at 5. About that. Did I have anything else? I think that was it that I was supposed to mention. I'm looking at you. You're like, I don't know. Okay, great. Oh, Anna, did you have a question?
We have a meeting the 25th as well.
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
The regular time or different time?
That one would be at 5 as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ginny asked if we could do them a little bit earlier because by then the staff is on the summer schedule, so they come in earlier in the day just so that our meetings aren't running so late for the folks who have to stay with us here in the high school. Okay. One last thing on the superintendent's, just the confidentiality agreement. The full board has to watch the training video and sign off on the confidentiality. Don't worry, Danielle. I'm not just looking at just you. It should be pretty quick. It's less than an hour, and then you just sign off on the form, and that gets you a ticket to the meeting next week. So yay! She's like, we make you sit in the hallway and wonder. You still have to come. And no snacks. There's no cookies if you don't sign. All right. I think that's it for me for updates. Policy review, we have none. Unfinished business. Okay. So these are the motions to accept the votes from the budget meeting yesterday. So just a quick thank you for everyone. First of all, everyone who sat up here for all of those board meetings and all of those folks who sat out there and watched from home for all the effort that went into the budget. It did pass. 817 votes to the yes, against 494 votes opposed. Article 2, which was the question about, we're required by law to ask this question every 3 years. Do we want to maintain the budget validation referendum, which is what we had yesterday? Do we want to continue that process and that also passed, 951 votes to 346 no. And had that passed, it would mean that our process would end at the annual budget meeting. We wouldn't have the vote yesterday. So both of those Article 1 and Article 2 passed. So thank you everyone who got out and voted. So these next couple of motions are around the certification of those votes. So, do I have a motion for the computation and declaration of votes dated June 11th, 2025 and attached hereto be approved? Further moved that the computation and declaration of votes be entered upon the records of the Regional School Unit Number 5, Further moved that a certified copy of the computation and declaration of votes be sent to each of the municipal clerks of the member municipalities within Regional School Unit number 5. Beth and Kelly, thank you. Any questions on that one? Basically, this just says that we accept the votes that we have here and that we will share them with the communities. All those in favor? Great, none opposed. All right, and now do I have a motion that the warrant for assessment of tax and the assessment schedule and notice of installments for each member municipality prepared by the treasurer for fiscal year July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2026 be approved and be issued in the form presented to this meeting, and that the treasurer be authorized and directed to deliver to each member municipality its warrant for assessment of tax and its assessment schedule and notice of installments. Thanks, Beth. Cheyenne? So basically, this one is all the paper on the table over there, which basically says, based on what we approved at the budget yesterday, this is the breakdown for each town in terms of how much taxation is owed, as well as a schedule for payments, because we get paid monthly from the towns. So that's what this vote is for. So any questions on this one? All those in favor? None opposed. All right, so this is my quick reminder. Everyone needs to sign every paper on that table. Finance Committee has taken care of ours. Just reminder that you have to sign on the same line on every paper. So just pick a friend and follow behind them and just sign under them. Okay? Great. All right, new business. So do I have a motion for consideration and approval to authorize the superintendent to hire staff between June 12th, tomorrow, 2025, and the first board meeting in September 2025? Kelly and Steph, thank you. So basically, as you all know, we generally will vote on teachers and other professional people under the professional contract, but we don't meet in the summer. So this allows us to continue hiring throughout that process, but without having to have us here. So typical, we generally do this every summer. Any questions? Did I get a motion on this one yet? Okay, great. All those in favor? None opposed. All right, organizational business. So we this is where we elect. So I'll pause here for a second under organizational business. Typically, what we do here at the last regular meeting of the year is we elect our chair for next year, our vice chair for next year. We talk about the committee work and the different variety of committees, and then we vote on our school attorney and school physician. So we usually do those as a slate for committees, and then the attorney and the physician. You'll see the only committee we have on here is Malik for the finance committee, because that committee does work across the summer because we are required to sign the warrants for the towns, for the bills, and our charter for the finance committee is that we have someone from each town, and with Beth going off the board as of June 30, we need a Pownell rep. And we wouldn't do that to Chris, who hasn't even started yet. So Malik has generously volunteered, or voluntold, that to be on the finance committee at least through the summer, and then we will revisit in the fall. But because we do have a new person from Pownell joining us on July 1st, as well as a new person from Freeport that will be joining us, we decided it made the most sense, instead of doing all the committees now and then revisiting again when we have two new folks. Instead, we would just wait and do that at the annual retreat in August. So we had to get Malik on for now because we need someone on finance over the summer, but the rest of the committees we will talk about in August. Questions? Okay. So we will still do chair, vice chair, and then Malik, the attorney, and the physician.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is the school physician's role? I don't know anything about that.
We help the approved standing orders that we might have in the schools, and also does some consultation with our nursing staff.
Does anybody want to nominate Chris for chair for next year? Kelly.
I nominate Michelle for chair next year.
I second it if she will accept it.
I'm happy to do it, but I don't want to hog all the fun if someone else really wants it. I'm happy to do it though. All right. Yeah, okay, I was just checking to see what we have there for the date. July 1. Okay. All those in favor? Great. None opposed. Vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Maura.
I would second that. I just want to check with Maura because I know she's done it in the past and was a wonderful vice chair, but with MSMA, she had a lot. So, but
Thank you. Yes, I will accept.
any other nominations? Great. All those in favor? Thank you. All right. So, and then C is, do I have a motion for consideration and approval of the following appointments? Malik Farlow for the Finance Committee, Drummond Woodsum for the School Attorney, and Dr. Stephanie Phelps as the School Physician. Cheyenne and Steph, thank you. All those in favor? None opposed. Wonderful. All right. Personnel. Item 15. So do I have a motion for consideration and approval to authorize the superintendent to hire a special education teacher at the Durham Community School, funding to come from 2 unfilled special education educational technician positions at the Durham Community School? Malik and Beth?
So going into the school year right now, I always say at this moment in time, because during the summer we definitely have an ebb and flow of ed techs as we have through the school year. At this moment, because I had another resignation today, there are 7.5 openings in special education for ed techs in the district, and also ed techs in general. We also have 4 gen ed techs. So that's a lot of human beings. We also know that the caseload at DCS, because of new identification and referrals, is continuing to increase. So what we'd like to do is use 2 of those unfilled positions and combine them for a teaching position. So that's the motion on the table for you to authorize us to do that.
Okay, so we don't have the candidate before us today.
There is a nobody.
Okay.
There is
Not yet.
Not yet. But I will say, as you know, we did that for the high school position this year, and there is a candidate that we are very hopeful that we will have for that position. So that we think that catch is successful. So we hope this one will be too.
Wonderful. Questions for Jean on that? Nope. All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Great. None opposed. We are back to public comment. Okay. And because this is probably our last regular meeting where we're going to have someone who's taking our minutes, and I know we recognized her at the last board meeting, but I would just like to add my thanks to Cynthia Alexander, our assistant superintendent, who will be retiring at the end of the month and has done a wonderful job keeping us on track and out of legal trouble and making the right motions and all those wonderful things. And you do so much more for the district, but just in terms of like my interaction with you, I've really enjoyed working with you, and I know you will enjoy your retirement. But those will be difficult high heels to fill, I'll just say. Sparkly high heels. Okay, so there's my public comment. Then I would take a motion to adjourn. And I'm actually only going to take the motion and the second from 2 people, so. Thank you. So it's Beth and it's Cheyenne. Their last official, well, I guess they still get on camera. Their last official acts on camera. Can you zoom in on the motion in the second? All right. I love a good 30-minute meeting. All those in favor? None opposed. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. And for folks at home, we'll see you in the fall.